Hello, everyone. I hope you're well. This is Nicole M. Louie, the Social Worker Strategy Mentor. Today, I'm going to be talking about the fact you have decided that you are ready to be independent, and this is what you need to do next. So I'm going to talk about that. If that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. And I want you to also tag somebody, tag a social worker who you think will find this interesting, or share it on your platform. That will be helpful. And do join in and comment. We're not going to be long as always, but I want to jump on. I've just been on Instagram talking about this, so I want to come everywhere else and share it too. And so I'm going to be sharing with you, as I said, about if you are ready and you've decided, yes, independence is what you want, this is what you need to do next. So I'm going to give you a little backdrop and talk about why I wanted to talk about this. I was recording one of my mentees that I spoke with, and she came with a raft of ideas of things that she wanted to do, from working with foster parents or foster children. She'd also had experience working with students, and so she was very interested in that process for newly qualified social workers. She also had ideas around doing particular kinds of assessments, parenting assessments and Form F assessments. And so she was interested in all these different things. There was, she also had the idea of being able to open a unit, a semi-independent unit. So you can hear that there were so many different ideas that she had, because she was so experienced, but also multi-passionate. But what that did was that really paralyzed her and kept her stuck in understanding how to compartmentalize it and how to actually take elements of herself and turn it into a business to be fully independent. That was going to give her what she wanted, which was the ability to choose when she worked and how she worked, and also the flexibility to work whenever she wanted and in whatever location she wanted. And it also meant that from a financial point of view, she was able to command what she felt she was deserving of. And that was going to allow her to have the freedom to provide on a deeper level and in serving her clients. And I think the biggest thing was about her being in control of her career and where things were going and how it was going. So the direction in which it was going in, she wanted to have more control over that. And so, how she had all these different ideas that she'd made a list of, it wasn't really, she was struggling to put pen to paper to understand how to actually make this a thing, right? And so I'm going to share with you kind of the process that I went through with her. We spent about an hour, just over an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes. And I was able to take all those ideas using the methodology that I use to really drill down. And we went from that to that. That, you can see it now, that to that in her understanding. And at the end of the session, like, her face lit up. She was so cemented in her idea, and she could see the runway to the point where she was coming up with ideas about what other things she could add on to that specialism that was going to assist her in being able to serve better and serve her clients, but also for her to feel fulfilled, and utilize all her other passions within that. And so it was a really exciting experience for me to see how she went from just a whirlwind and a washing machine of ideas in her head, to actually feeling concrete, feeling solid, feeling secure. The lack of, the lack of clarity was gone. Like, everything was demystified, and she just felt a lot stronger, clearer in herself and in her own abilities to really make this a thing. And so that was exciting to see. So I'm going to share with you how she did that. And if you are joining, whether it's live on the replay, let me know in the comments where you are joining from. Let me know what area of social work you are in. That would be really helpful. I like to know where people are checking in from, and how they what their experience is within the industry. So I also want to let you know that before I go into sharing the details, if you are interested as a social worker in having support in being able to go through this process of understand whether or not you've got a list of ideas, I am going to share with you what exactly you need to do. So I want you to get a notepad and pen in this time as well. But before I do that, I want you to DM me the word independent if you would like assistance and support to be able to go through the process that I took my mentee Rihanna through, to be able to understand what her actual specialism is. Okay, so you can do that and just DM me the word independent. Okay, so let me get into it. I hope you have your notepad and pen. First thing that you are going to want to do, and this is the most important thing, because this is where I think it was a huge issue for herself, and indeed all the mentees that I speak with who really don't have a clear idea, or some that come to me may have an idea about where they're fixed, but again, it's quite rigid and narrow. So we kind of go through a similar process to expand it. But most, like 90%, 98% of social workers are coming to me not really having a clue. So this is the first thing that you want to be doing, is you want to be coming up with a list that has different categories, 4 different categories. You want to have your skills, you want to have your knowledge, you want to have your experience, and you want to have your expertise. These are all very different. And the reason why it's important to understand the difference between them and actually be clear about where you fit in all of these is because that is what you're going to use to springboard off of what you are actually going to do. So your skill is basically something that is a developed talent, and sometimes that skill could be very innate. It could be something that you're kind of born with a talent, and over the years as you've done it, it's just developed and morphed into something that's really made you who you are. And so you may have several skills that are developed talents that you could make a note of. And the biggest thing I want you to do is think outside of social work. Don't be stuck in social work, because there's so many different facets to who you are as an individual. The other thing in terms of your experience, of course, again, outside of social work and in social work, what has your experience been? What have you been really, really good at? What have you enjoyed in your experience in life, in your younger days, where you are right now, in different phases of your life? So make a note of that. The other thing is your knowledge. What knowledge do you have? What actual information do you hold in here? You may be an avid reader. You may be somebody who, because of experience, you've got a lot of knowledge about a subject matter, and again, not necessarily related to social work, but knowledge. What knowledge do you hold in your head from your life experience and what you've engaged in, people that you've met, things that have come your way in whatever form that might take? And then finally, your expertise. What expertise do you have? Like, these are the things that it's a skill on steroids, right? It's the thing that you could do with your eyes closed, that you are amazing at, that people come to you for advice for. What are your expertise that you hold, again, inside and outside of social work, because you are a multifaceted being. And that is the number one thing where, my mentee was quite stuck in terms of being able to drill down and think, okay, where do I take this? So that's the number one thing that you need to do, is make a list and be clear about the differences in these areas. Because as you start to move forward, you will find yourself being stuck in being able to understand where you're headed to and why you're headed there. So I want you to, once you've done that, DM me the word independent if you are interested in me helping you drill down further and take it to the next stage, where you can actually think about, okay, with all these skills, experience, knowledge, all these things that I've got, how do I develop this? What is going to work for me in my life in particular? And where can I take this? And you can have an opportunity to spend 45 minutes with me, to be able to look at some of those things, look at where you might be stuck in terms of moving forward in independence. And so if there's something that interests you, DM me the word independent, and I would love to perhaps start the process of how I might be able to assist you. So I hope this was helpful, and I'm going to be back again on Sunday. So I look forward to speaking with you then. Have a beautiful bank holiday. Bye for now.